In the heart of a vast African kingdom, nestled between towering mountains and lush, untamed forests, lived Queen Yara, a woman known not only for her beauty but for her unmatched wisdom and compassion. Her reign had brought prosperity to her people, and her kingdom was envied by neighboring lands. However, there was a dark secret lurking beneath her regal exterior, a secret that would ultimately destroy everything she had worked for. It began when a mysterious traveler, an old man with eyes that seemed to see beyond the physical world, arrived at the queen's palace. He offered her a choice, unimaginable wealth and immortality, but at a steep price. In exchange, she would have to sacrifice her most precious possession, the heart of her kingdom. At first, Queen Yara laughed at the old man's proposition. She had everything she needed: riches, power, a loving people, and a bright future ahead. But as her kingdom faced a series of devastating droughts and natural disasters, and her people's hopes began to fade, she found herself at a crossroads. The kingdom's coffers were running dry, and the people were starving. Desperate, she remembered the old man's words. She summoned him again, and he repeated his offer. This time, the temptation of eternal wealth and power clouded her judgment. With trembling hands, she signed the deal, sealing her fate. Instantly, the kingdom's fortunes reversed. The rains returned, crops flourished, and treasure filled the palace vaults. But there was one catch: the magic that brought wealth also brought corruption. The more gold and treasures she accumulated, the more the people around her began to change. The advisors who once served her with loyalty turned to greed. The warriors who fought for her kingdom became ruthless mercenaries. And, most terrifying of all, the queen herself began to lose her sense of compassion, her sense of justice. The price of wealth was taking its toll on her soul. Soon, the queen became consumed with greed, building lavish palaces, hoarding riches, and seeking ever more power. Her people, once happy and free, were now forced into slavery, working in the mines to extract gold for her insatiable appetite for wealth. She turned a blind eye to their suffering, believing that her newfound power made her untouchable. But as the queen's heart hardened, so did the land. The once fertile soils of her kingdom began to wither, and the rivers that once flowed with crystal-clear water ran dry. The people, now oppressed and starving, began to whisper of rebellion. It wasn't long before the first signs of revolt emerged. A group of brave warriors, led by the queen's own son, Prince Akin, decided they would not stand idly by while their land was destroyed. They took up arms against the queen, her own blood turning against her. In a final, devastating showdown, the prince confronted his mother. His voice trembled with pain as he begged her to return the wealth and power she had stolen. But Queen Yara, blinded by her lust for riches, refused. In her arrogance, she believed that nothing, no rebellion, no revolt, could topple her. However, the old man's warning echoed in her mind: the heart of your kingdom is the heart of your people. Without them, you are nothing. The ground trembled beneath them as the queen's palace, built on greed and blood, began to crumble. It was as though the very earth was rejecting her reign. In the end, her treasure-filled vaults turned to dust, and her immortal soul was claimed by the very force she had bargained with, the darkness that fed on greed. The queen's downfall became a tragic tale, passed down through the generations. It served as a warning to all who would sacrifice their people for personal gain, that true wealth lies not in gold or power, but in the hearts of those who love and support you. Moral: greed may give you everything you desire, but it will eventually take away everything that truly matters.